Hey guys, Noel here, and it is Friday night, and I thought it would be fun after a long week of teaching while the family is in bed to do a video game review for the video game review section of the YouTube channel. Today we will be reviewing a game that I got back in the Christmas of 1997, a game filled with games that I'm not particularly good at, but games that I really enjoy, and that, my friends, is a game for the Sega Saturn that goes by the title of Williams Arcade Greatest Hits. So this game here features a compilation of classic Williams arcade games. These games include Defender, Defender 2, The Stargate, Robotron 2084, Sinistar, Joust, and my personal favorite, Bubbles. The cool thing about these games is, in addition to having the arcade ports of these games, you also get these nice histories of the games and very cool creator video interviews.
The most amazing project was the Defender project, because we were the number 2 pinball company at the time, and we're going to get in the video game business. Yeah, right, Williams. And we got a bunch of people. They were put in a separate facility over on Belden Avenue. And this group, everybody had one goal, and that was, in a pretty short time frame, to do whatever it took to make a really hot video game. And the way things were accomplished by that group and the atmosphere among this group was just amazing. I've never seen it equaled. And, now I've got a management role, and I would love to take and bottle whatever the ingredients were to try and create a situation like that again. And it's the best situation I've ever seen or been in.
As much as I like the games on this compilation, I think my favorite part about it are these interview clips. Let's listen to one more interview with Eugene Jarvis, the creator of Defender.
We stuck it out in an arcade, and the first night, I didn't even show up. You stick this thing out. You've been working on this thing for months. You almost got fired, there was a point where I cleaned out my desk, in like the dark days when I was working on the astronauts. I'd actually cleaned out my desk and had put all my stuff in boxes. I was that close to just quitting. And so I just didn't want to, I didn't want to find out what people really wanted. I didn't show up first night. And the second night, I go out to the arcade, and the place was there was people 10 deep watching Defender. There was people sitting on chairs and couches and camped out around this game. And at that point, I figured, wow, this is kind of cool.
So let's play a little bit of Defender, which I am not good at all. But we'll play through a wave on Defender. Now, Defender, unlike games like Blazing Star from SNK Neo Geo that I'm a little more accustomed to, does not constantly move forward. You kind of, at least my understanding of how to play this game, at least how I've been playing this game, unless I'm not playing it right, is you kind of have to be a little methodical, and you have to double back and make sure that people don't get captured while trying to move forward through the level. It's pretty complicated, and it's not particularly easy. It is a nice, atmospheric, pretty game to look at. It's simplistic, but very well made. But it's a game that I've never completely gotten the hang of. So I definitely respect it. I appreciate it. I enjoy playing it, but I'm not good at it, and I'm not good at it long enough to get as engaged as I could be compared to other games on this compilation, like Bubbles, which is basically very similar to Pac-Man. Let's actually play Defender 2, which I enjoy for several reasons, one of which is because I'm a fan of News Radio, and the main character on News Radio, Dave, failed his SATs because he was up all night playing Stargate Defender, which is another name for Defender 2. Now, the cool thing about this game is you get these attack options where you can blow up the whole screen by hitting B. So you've got a limited amount of those bombs there. And you've got these cool wormholes you can jump into that will warp you to different parts of the game. And Yeah, so and this game also features some extra colors, some extra enemies, and is for an early '80s game where sequels were not always that diverse. You really do get some unique additions to this game here. And for as iconic and cool as Defender is, this game I think is easier to play and is got a little bit more excitement and a little more options to it. So in terms of sequel, I think Stargate is really good. Still not very good at it, but... Those vector-based explosion graphics are very nice. It's quiet here. Too quiet. Wow, that didn't work well at all. Oh, but we completed the attack wave. But I sacrificed my ship. With this new phone, I mean, is something to film these reviews on. It's really hit and miss. I'm seeing how Defender is not showing up that well on the screen here. So I'm sorry about that, but I think you got the gist of the game. Let's do a round on my favorite game on this compilation, which is Bubbles. This should show up nicely. Bubbles is basically like Pac-Man in a sink with no borders to the maze. So you are a small bubble, and you basically have to clean a sink filled with ants, spiders, miniature cleaning ladies, anthropomorphic mops and brushes, and the occasional razor blade. And the more you clean the sink, the bigger your bubble gets, and he gets a face. And once he gets that face, you can go down the drain, or you can hang around the sink and try to collect more points. Compared to Defender, this game I think is a lot easier to pick up and play, and there's not as much of a learning curve at all. So I'm a fan of Bubbles. Sadly, there's no video clips of Bubbles' history on this game. I don't know why. Ooh. Ooh, got an extra life. I mean, we should just do a review of Bubbles by itself for the channel. Darn it. Alright, good. I'm able to survive that one. My mom, when she bought me this game, she's like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't realize they were all old games." I was like, "No, that's not a bad thing at all." As far as I'm concerned, it's still the 80s. Now, my favorite 1980s games, in addition to the games on here, but some games I like even better would be Donkey Kong 3. I really enjoy playing that. This is not going to be a big enough bubble. I really enjoy Donkey Kong 3 quite a bit. Burger Time and Miss Pac-Man are all... and Donkey Kong Jr. on the ColecoVision, I just love that game. That was not good at all. So those are some notable early 1980s video games that we definitely need to review on the channel here. We already have reviewed Donkey Kong Jr. on ColecoVision. I was actually just playing that on an 11-inch black and white TV from the 80s. Fantastic. Alright, let's see if we can get past Sync 10 here. Oh man, my vertical hold is messing up. Speaking of the 80s. Alright, let's play some Robotron here. Now, Robotron is a cool game. If you've played Smash TV, you will be playing... This is the predecessor of Smash TV, Robotron. Wow, what is up with the vertical hold on this? I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to try to adjust my TV set there. That should fix it. This is a JVC professional video monitor from 1991. So, going through RGB SCART, which you probably can't appreciate how nice that looks through this phone. But it looks very, very good. Now, Robotron, which I'm not, again, particularly good at, you basically fire in different directions in a limited screen space, and you try to rescue humans from evil robots and other kinds of technology gone awry. Very postmodern. Whoa. Darn it. There is a really cool first-person shooter sequel to this game, also from the early 80s, called Blaster, which features the same type of black and psychedelic color scheme, but is a different type of game, but it does feature enemies from Robotron and the sound effects from Robotron, and has a very kind of bizarre ending to it, where once you finish the certain requirements in the game, you end up going to Paradise, which is basically this space line of futuristic rocket dancers, and then you get a bunch of extra points. So that was a poor showing in Robotron. Let's go play some Sinistar, which I actually like this game quite a bit, and then we'll play some Joust. And I want to show you the creator of Joust, because he reminds me very much of the comic book guy from The Simpsons. It is fantastic. Talking about how he wants to make Joust the movie. And he says that there was not the technology in the 80s to do so. I mean, it's like, I don't get what technology was not available. It's like you had ostriches and you had night costumes. So, like, I mean, come on. Like, how much money does it cost to domesticate an ostrich? I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I'm asking you. If you know how much it costs to domesticate an ostrich, please comment in the comment section. I would legitimately want to know that. The thing about Sinistar, this is, I believe, the first major... I think this is the first video game that actually featured voice acting. Correct me if I'm wrong. But basically, you have to fight a giant space skull who is made up of moon rocks that come out of other moon rocks. And you can also get... So you can get these little white moon rocks to basically use as ammo. But they're also the ingredients that make Sinistar. So all of... these bad guys here are trying to build Sinistar, and you're trying to get the pieces of Sinistar for yourself. And when Sinistar does get built, and he will get built, you got to fire those moon rocks back at him, and they will actually destroy him. So it's actually interesting stuff. So I think I'm understanding the premise of Sinistar properly. So. Sinistar will try to come into the screen. There he is. I gotta try to hope he gets destroyed by all those bombs I just dropped there. Darn it! Go, 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 go! No! Good, I beat him. Really cool, trippy graphics there. Alright, let's end Sinistar on a high note here. And, we'll play some Joust. It was requested in one of my videos that I review this compilation of games for the Sega Genesis. And I just don't have the Genesis version of this game. I have the Saturn version, and I'm really, really happy with the Saturn version because I love those creator interviews. Joust is a really fun game to play, and it's another easy game to play. So basically, you are a knight on an ostrich fighting other knights on ostriches. You basically just have to jump on their heads before they jump on your head. And when they do jump on your head, you're in trouble. Whoa. The sound effects for bubbles were used in this game as well. No survival points awarded. Uh-oh. The lava is rising here. That means we're, like, gonna have a more limited level space to deal with. Alright, let's, because this is not showing up particularly well on a camera, it doesn't look like. We get a taste for how Joust plays. Let's actually listen to the creator of Joust, because he's an interesting fellow here.
Compared to now, we're working with bubble gum and rubber bands and and hot glue, essentially. The memory in the game was, I believe, 96K, which is just nothing. Now, I mean, we waste that on title screens nowadays. So the real challenge in designing games back then was, how do you do something interesting with some nice animation, and how do you do it in such a small package? Because that doesn't allow us a lot of variety.
And I would say, out of all the games on this collection, I would say Joust does that the best. You get the most bang for your buck with Joust, I think, with minimal animation, but the gameplay is very exciting. I mean, it's essentially one of the first fighting video games ever made, and it's really well executed. So, let's listen to what else he has to say.
First, we're working on the flying and the running of the ostrich, and we had neglected to consider is when the ostrich lands on some of the floating cliffs, of how's that handled, when does the animation call the running leg and then the non-leg flap sequence. So there's a lot of situations where the ostrich the cliff is floating and the ostrich will be flying, but he's not high enough to show his legs. So it'll just do a belly flop across the cliff. And on the one side of the screen, we had two cliffs that were staggered. And when it does a belly flop, there's a little hole of a couple of pixels, and it allows the bird to squeeze out between the two cliffs. And we're racking our brains trying to fix it, but we were so embroiled in playing Cutthroat, where we would try to kill each other when we were playing and testing the game, and it became a really fun trick to do, is that someone would be hovering underneath these cliffs, and then you'd deliberately do the belly flop and squirt out and kill the guy underneath. And so we decided to keep that in there and call it a feature.
So, you know, another reason why I like this guy is because if you've ever seen the music video of Mo Money, Mo Problems, he's like the white, nerdy version of Biggie in that video, where Biggie is doing that clip. He's like, oh, that's real, y'all. The more money you make, the more problems you get. Just this content, chubby guy, leaned back, sharing his knowledge. Let's see what clip 7 holds here.
Joust 2 is the trivia question of all time, I guess, was that there actually was a sequel. We tried to resurrect Joust in 1985. Didn't make many games, but this is at a time when very few video games were selling, and there wasn't much of a video department anymore, and I had met with some of management. We were trying to figure out, well, gee, let's try another game, and so we were considering resurrecting and doing a sequel of either Robotron or Joust, and they decided to let's give Joust a crack at it.
Let me, before we go, check out clip 6.
I've been looking for an original Joust cocktail table, of which there's, even though the Joust did really well, we only made about 500 cocktail tables, and it was really too bad, because it was one of the originals. It was the only two-player.
Trying to find the clip where he talks about Joust to the movie. So I think that's actually clip 5.
Yeah, right now the old video games are being gobbled up by collectors and in people's basements, but the prices are just starting to rise on some of them. You can still get a lot of old games pretty cheap.
Try clip 4.
Say the words "Joust the movie."
And what do I say about them?
I just want to hear them said.
Joust the movie is it's a little hobby I've been working on. I guess the transition is I started off as a toy designer, then I became a video game designer, and then I would like to become a movie designer. So I had always thought that Joust would make a great movie. The technology was never there for what I had in mind, but now it's more than there.
All right. So, on that note, we will end our review of Williams Arcade Greatest Hits for the Sega Saturn. So, apologies if there were some clips that did not translate well from the monitor to the camera. I'm going to upload this video in a timely fashion. And until next time, guys, my name is Noel. You take care. Thank you for watching, and I will see you all sooner than later. Bye-bye.